Shalom, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakha Kodash, giving reverence to the sincere brothers that is pushing out the gospel throughout the four corners of the world. Peace and blessings and infinite salutation be to the elect, the house of David, that the Lord is raising up in these last days, which is made up of you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and Scottish Israelites amongst the other nation that look like the other nation, but according to your pedigree, you go back to the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom. Now, this is just a quick topic that I want to go into, all right? And the topic of this lesson that I want to go into is striving to the end, all right? And fighting for this truth, okay? Because as we getting closer to the end, all right, things are going to become a little bit more harder, man. You see, and that's part of this truth. You got to be able to receive that, all right? That when you come into this truth, all right, you got to eat the whole roll. You see, you got to eat the whole roll, all right? Just like how the Lord told Ezekiel, okay? And yeah, you know, when you first come to this truth, it's sweet, okay? You know, it's sweet, it's good and everything, but the more you take this truth, the more you chew it, all right, it becomes bitter, okay? And that's that sweet and sour taste, man. All right, and you know, the more you eat it, it's gonna become more bitter, man. But that's just part of growing in this truth. That's part of growing within this truth, all right? And actually, let me just get some scriptures just going into that. And the first one I want to go into is Ezekiel chapter 3. And I'm going to start at the top. And it says, "Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel." So this roll is talking about this truth, the Bible, the whole Bible, okay, the Holy Bible, all right? And it says, verse 2, "So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll." All right. And verse 3, "And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness." Okay. So when you take this truth, when you first come into this truth, it's sweet, man. It's sweet as honey. All right. You know, because for one, you know you're an Israelite. All right. You know, which the name Israel means he prince of the power. All right. Yahshua Allah. Yahshua Allah. All right. He prince of God. You see, you know you're above all people on the planet Earth. All right. So that's sweet, man. You know, and you know that the kingdom of heaven is only given unto the Israelites, starting with Yahweh Shah. All right, so that's the sweetness of eating this roll, all right, or receiving this truth, you see. But when you go into the book of Revelation, chapter 10, all right, this is Revelation chapter 10 and verse 9, and it says, and this is the Apostle John, the Revelator, speaking. He said, verse 9, it says, "And I went unto the angel, and he said unto him," and said unto him, let me read that again. "And I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey." You see, so when you first come into this truth is sweet, okay? You know, when you get yourself built up and you come to the wisdom, knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, and the understanding of the scriptures, all right, it's sweet as honey to you, man. You see, but the more you get rooted into this truth and you experience it, all right, having this truth, and you experience life and so on and so forth, you know, it'll start to humble you. All right. You see, things will become a little harder. All right. Because remember, and this truth, all right, it's about preparing yourself. You know, it's about this truth preparing you for something big that's coming ahead. All right. Especially in these last days, man. You see, just to show you how important it is to be in these last days. All right. And with us receiving this truth. Okay. You know, that's part of prophecy for brothers in these last days to be waking up. All right. And to be getting to get prepared in the spirit in these last days, man. Because that's exactly what this truth is doing unto brothers, man. All right. You come into this truth, it's sweet as honey. All right. All right. Knowing that you are an Israelite. But the more you experience having this truth and the more you're rooted in, it becomes bitter. You see, because now you're being tried. All right. Now you're being tested. Now you're being put up to the test. Okay. You know, and in verse 10 it says, and I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had ate it, my belly was bitter. Okay. You know, and I mean, that's the scriptures, man. I mean, that's the holy Bible to you, man. You see, because it's not always going to be sweet. All right. You know, being in this truth, you're going to understand the perfect balance of the Lord. Okay. Being in this truth, you're going to understand the perfect balance of the Lord. But remember, all of this is getting you prepared for that time. All right. That times that we're coming into, man. And now this is, and that's really the point of this lesson. And I want to start off with Ecclesiasticus chapter 4 and verse 28. And it says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. You see, because once again, we're coming closer unto the end of the Lord. We're coming closer into the end of this world, all right, which is the day of the Lord, all right, the return of Yahweh. You see, but remember, it's just like any other match or anything. You got to prepare yourself for that time. All right. You got to go through the ugly to receive the glory. You see, and that's what we as brothers, all right, that believe in this truth, and sisters as well too, you're going to be tried. You're going to go through this. All right. That's what the scriptures is known as Jacob's trouble. Now the whole house of Jacob's trouble is going to go through this Jacob's trouble. You see, but the difference between the elect and the non-elect is that the elect they're being prepared for this time to come. All right. And the way they're being prepared is through faith. All right. This faith, you know, this truth. All right. Because this is the only thing that we need. All right. Is having this truth and believing in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, and knowing this truth. Just like the scripture says, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding shall be the stability of thy times. Okay. The fear of the Lord is going to be you know, matter of fact, let me just get that, because I don't want to butcher, you know, I don't want to butcher it. All right. Just to let you know how important it is to have this truth, man. This is Isaiah 33 and verse 6. And it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stabilities of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So this is the only thing that we need. We don't need nothing else. All right. People don't want to believe in this truth. All right. They don't believe that this book contains all the answers. All right. That this is the weapon. All right. This is the shield, and this is the protection that you're going to only need in that time. You see, because you still have Jake out here that they believe in these idols. They believe in statues. They believe in these false gods. All right. They believe in these false hopes that's bringing nothing but delusion to them. All right. And eventually it's going to bring their destruction. You see? So once again, the whole house of Israel is going to go through this evil time, which is Jacob's trouble. But the difference is between elect and non-elect is the elect is ready. They're being ready. They're being put to the test now. So when all hell breaks loose, they're going to be ready. You know, be ready. You know, Get ready now so you don't have to get ready at that time. All right? So going back to Ecclesiasticus 4 and verse 28, and it says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. And this truth was, it can be bitter at times. All right, you're going to go through certain situations where sometimes you might feel hopeless, but remember, all right, it's just like any other match. You got to go through the ugly to receive the glory. All right, it's not going to be sweet. All right, it's not it's not a walk in the park. Okay, you're gonna have your ups and your downs. All right, but you got to get up and you just got to keep fighting. Okay, you just got to get up and keep on fighting, unto the end. You see. And sometimes you might find yourself in situations where you left out. You feel like you're left out. But once again, that's part of the test. All right, the Lord is testing you, believe it or not, because he's getting you prepared. All right, you didn't come to this truth for nothing. All right, and that's something that you got to always remember. The Lord didn't give you this truth for no reason. All right, he didn't have you go through certain situations for no reason. Everything happens for a reason. All right, and sometimes you got to examine yourself and really think about yourself and actually care about yourself and love yourself first. And actually examine yourself and say to yourself, like, am I really in the truth? All the things that you see? Because once again, sometimes you feel like you're left out. All right? But remember, this truth is about faith. Okay? It's about believing in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Because if you are a part of the elect, you're going to be all right in any type of situations that you got to go through. You see? You just got to ask the Lord for the strength. All right? To give you that spirit to endure unto the end. All right? To get you prepared through whatever you got to go through when that time do come. This is the book of Matthew 24 and verse 13, and it says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Okay? Because ultimately, that's what we're fighting for. All right? Salvation. You see? And to be to found worry in the sight of the Lord. Okay? And let me just end it with this right here. All right. Revelation chapter 3 and verse 11. And it says, behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. All right? So you got to hold fast, man. You see, because spiritual Satan, he's going to fuck with you, man. He might get on certain people and test you. He might get on your woman, for brothers up there that have women or children or whatever the case might be. They might, the spirit of Satan might get into them, all right, and might, say some off the wall certain things that try to take you out of this truth. Okay? You see, and sometimes brother, they might not see it in the moment, or they might not catch it. All right, but you got some brothers that they're gonna catch it, man. You're gonna see it. You're gonna know that's Satan trying to get to you, man. Okay? So let no man take thy crown. Okay? You see, and this truth is part of that. This truth is the path to your crown. All right? Verse 12, and it says, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God. And I will write upon him my new name. All right? All right, which means to be delivered. All right? You see? Being part of the elect, man. Because in this world doesn't have faith. This world don't believe in the scriptures. They don't believe in the Bible. They don't believe in Yahweh Shah. They don't believe in Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shah? And they definitely not going to believe in the elect, starting with the 144,000. You see? But when it comes down to us brothers, that, you know, this is precious to us, man. All right. So for you brothers out there that's in this truth and you have this truth, you know, you got to keep on fighting to the end. All right. Because things are getting harder, man. Okay. And believe that. And things are going to get even more harder, man. Okay. So we're coming to the time where, yeah, we have to just, yeah, we gotta hold this, man. Okay. We coming to the point that we're going to start hiding it. You see? And we got to start showing it. We have to start showing and actually believing and actually move like this truth is precious to us, man. Okay? You see, because the Lord, once again, the Lord is putting us to the test. All right? The Lord is taking us away from this world, man. And you got to believe that. Because it's, once again, if you're part of the elect, the Lord got you. Okay? You know, the Lord is going to take this, he's going to take you away from this world so you can make it, man. Okay? So you brothers, you know, we're at the time that we got to get right, or you're going to be left. All right? But you got to, once again, the key thing, all right, the most important thing of this truth is faith. All right? And let me just end it with this. You know, you just got to keep on going. Keep your head up and just keep on going until the end. All right? You know, because this world is collapsing. And you see it. The spirit of this world is collapsing. People are starting to bug out. Okay? People are in their last hope. All right? Their last miserable hope that they have in this world, man. You see? And a smart brother can see that. All right? A brother that's in this truth can see that this world is coming to an end. Okay? But what you don't want is that you want to fall with this world, man. Okay? So you got to prepare yourself for that time. All right? And let me just end it with this. Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 and verse 1, it says, "My son, if thou hast come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." You see? And I mean, you know, that's something that we all going to go through. All right? But more and more as we're getting closer, you're going to go through temptation. Okay? And that's what's going to show the real from the fake. Verse 2, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in time of trouble." You see, because you're going to go through tough times. All right? You're going to go through tough times. But what you don't want to do is bug out and lose hope and lose faith. You see? The Lord's going to take everything away from you. Just like the story of Job. All right? Job, the Lord took everything away from Job. But Job hold integrity, you know, to the Lord. He still had faith in the Lord. And because of that, the Lord gave him, he gave him more than he had at first. You see? And that's why you always got to remember your forefathers, man. And when I mean about your forefathers, I'm talking about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all the great men in the scriptures, man. All right? It says, "Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at that last end." All right? And that's the more important thing. All right? This is a marathon that we've been running. All right? That we are in a marathon race. You see? The only thing that matters to you is trying to get to the end. All right? And it says, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state." All right? Because once again, being in this truth, you gotta be, you gotta be humble. All right? You're gonna go through, you're gonna go through, the Lord's gonna bring you down. All right? You see, he's gonna break you down so you can appreciate righteousness. Because remember, our righteousness is like unto a filthy rag. Okay? We were part of this world at one time. All right, but the Lord woke us up from that state of death, and he woke us up. So he broke us down, and he's still gonna break brothers down, because one thing you got to keep in mind is that every brother have a different story. We come from different stories, but we're going to the same direction. So let every brother work out his own salvation with fear and trembling. You see, so some brothers, the Lord break down other brothers differently from other brothers, man. Okay? But one thing is that the Lord is going to break you down so he can build you up the proper way. All right? As being a temple of the Lord. All right? Being a pillar of the Lord's temple. You see? Okay? Verse 5, and it says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not outside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. And I'm just going to end it with this. And it says, look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in the Lord, and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear, and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise, that call upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, everlasting. For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, learn suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction. All right, and that right there shows the power of the Lord. You see, because ultimately that's what matters in the end of the day. You see, we're coming to a time that the Lord, the name of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah, is about to be manifest. Okay, and the Lord is going to show his power in these last days. All right, and he's going to show his mercy unto his chosen ones, which is the elect. You see, and ultimately that's what matters in the end of the day. Okay, but we still have to play our part. All right, every single individual, brother and sister, have to play their part in this truth. Okay, so you have to endure into the end. You got to play your part. All right, being in this truth, you got to fight unto the end. You see, wherever you at, and whatever type of condition that the Lord has brought you in. All right, and our Lord willing, I hope that this lesson was edifying, as well as uplifting unto those that believe in this gospel, and that believe in this truth, and that believe in Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah. And with that, I want to say Shalom.